Happening now at the state capitol, a committee tasked with handling flood recovery in the Hill Country and managing the state's response is meeting for the very first time. Two people from the Houston area are on that committee that is hearing testimony from first responders, also river authorities. On the agenda here, lawmakers want to know about communications during disaster operations and will examine thorough witness testimony about what capabilities Texas has to respond to a disaster. The committee is meeting first today and will meet again later this month in Kerrville. KPRC 2's Robert Arnold is covering today's testimony. He's joining us live from Austin. And Robert, we understand so far the head of the Texas Division of Emergency Management has testified there.
Yes, his testimony has dominated much of the morning. This select committee was formed specifically to look at the July 4th Hill Country flood. This is a joint committee between the House and the Senate. Now, since it is a joint committee, that means this committee will not be voting on any potential legislation related to the flood. This committee's purpose is to investigate what happened before, during, and after the Hill Country floods. We caught up with State Senator Paul Bettencourt, who is on the committee, and he outlined in broad strokes the three bills that are flood related and are considered a priority for this special session.
And SB 1 to Chairman Perry, which is about the whole natural disaster preparedness, our entire theory, what we should be doing in the state. I've got the river or the flood warning and alert system, that's SB 2. SB 3 is a funding bill that it will be from Senator Huffman on a Hill Country Relief Fund.
Now, as we had said, that the head of the Texas Division of Emergency Management, Chief Nim Kidd, has dominated much of the testimony this morning. He was the first witness up, and he talked about a lot of key areas, communication being one, and that has many tentacles to it. One of the things that the chief talked about is there still seems to be a gray area as to exactly what type of emergency information local officials are receiving, especially in rural counties, and seeing that they are receiving the exact same thing that the State Division of Emergency Management is receiving, all at the same time, so everybody's on the same page. The chief also talked about there are still issues with state emergency responders having trouble communicating on their radios with all the different agencies that were also responding to this flood. So lawmakers are going to have to look at interoperability. Again, they are not scheduled to have any testimony from Kerr County leaders today. They say they did not want to take them away from their duties. However, we will hear from those leaders next week when this committee goes to Kerrville for a second round of hearings. Now, even though county leaders were not here today, there were victims of the flood in the Capitol. They want to make sure that their voices are heard. When they came here and they found out that it's only invited testimony for this specific hearing, they have now been going around to different offices with a petition to make sure that their statements are part of the record. And we'll get into all that throughout the day in our later newscast. For now, we were reporting live from the state capitol. Robert Arnold, KPRC 2 News.
Yeah, so many watching what transpires here. Robert, thank you.